I said what I said, right? Yeah, I get that check, right? I'm so blessed, right? Off of that jet pie, off of that, what's that? I'm in that new coupe, got bin fired. She got a pill. I'm much more concerned with how my time about to be billed. Need a couple meal tickets in my pocket till the bill. Quick to flip a bill, I'm about to profit. I'm a real hitter with them wheels spinning, never stopping, I'm a boss.
I'm Kenyatta Wright, Director of Cowboy Football Business, and we got one of our newcomers. Why don't you tell them who you are?
I'm Jaylen Lloyd from Omaha, Nebraska, play wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Man, we'll just open it up. They call you Ferrari?
Yes, sir.
Why what's Ferrari? What is it? Are you fast or something?
Yeah, so out of high school I had won 100 meter in state with a 10.4, and I went to this football camp the very next week. It was held by we call him Coach Dub. Coached a lot of NFL teams. He's currently receiver coach for the Saints right now. Yep. And he's just like he heard a lot about me, and he just called me Ferrari one day, and it just stuck with me. That's how I got the nickname. Yeah.
So we got you obviously from Nebraska. You played in Nebraska, transferred here. Was Zane y'all's quarterback or something? Was y'all know each other?
Yeah, me and Zane had. So my uncle is Steve Warren.
Yep. Played against Steve.
Yeah. Me and Zane had played for his 7-on-7 team growing up. And then we ended up meeting each other in the state championship game. My team had got the best of his, so I know Zane pretty well.
You say you know him pretty well?
Yes, sir.
So talk to us about that game. You said y'all won?
Yes, sir. It was actually like one of the craziest games in Nebraska history. The previous year they had beat us, got a goal line stop to win the game.
Wow.
But then they had their state championship. It got like removed because they had like an illegal transfer. So then the next year we meet up again as like the most hyped game. Like everybody's been waiting for the rematch, and so many people showed up to the game, and it was like back-to-back scoring. We took the lead fourth quarter. Then Zane throws like a 60-yard bomb. Then they run the ball in to go score. They take the lead. We go down the field and kick a game-winning 50-yard field goal. And we just rushed the field. It was like one of the craziest games I've ever seen.
Wow, that's awesome. So when Coach Meacham was talking about, putting the pieces together for his offense to be successful, he said he needed a guy to take the top off. And you got in the portal, and we called your representatives or whatever, and you really, you have a lot of opportunities. Because one, primarily speed, ability to, change the way defenses play offenses, obviously with speed. And, but the thing that you were looking for was to truly be developed and have an opportunity to advance every year,
Yes, sir.
And so tell us about, since you got here now, do you feel that is in place here?
Yeah, I feel like being here I think it was probably the best thing for me. Just being at Nebraska, I obviously learned a lot of things there.
Being a Nebraska kid too, that's tough,
I was a legacy there. It was a hard decision to leave, but I think the things I took with me is like I have knowledge of the game now, and coming here, having a group of receivers that not many of us have played, I get to kind of take on a veteran role. As we watch film, I can show people things that maybe they didn't know or I've been through. I think that's kind of good for me to develop more with myself, and just being around the coaches, like they've been coaching athletes that have done it before, like Des Bryant, Blackman. I think that's really good for me as well.
That's awesome. That you mentioned Justin Blackman. He's one of the best to ever do it in college, and it's a guy that, comes around our program a lot, and we'll be back, a lot, in the future. He comes in that weekend that we have our Orange Blitz. He's usually playing golf every weekend. You need to meet him. Yeah. And because he's an Oklahoma kid, not really sought after by a lot of people, but really worked to put himself in position to be one of the greatest receivers of all time, know? Yeah. And that story can happen, to a lot of people. Right. It's just the right situations, the right scheme. And I think for a receiver, they know that this was the type of scheme that they want to be in because of the balls that are getting thrown around here.
Right.
Yeah. And so talk a little bit about your family. You mentioned their legacy in Nebraska, so I want everybody to know how hard it was to pull you up out of there.
Yeah. So I grew up with my mom and my dad and an older sister. Mm-hmm. So we had started off with, my dad had originally went to Omaha Central High School, which that was like a legacy of, I went there, my sister went there. We all graduated. Well, I didn't graduate from there, but they all graduated from there. And then my dad had met my mom at Nebraska. He was just a student, but my mom was a 9-time All-American track athlete there. So she was pretty good. She had held a few Big 12 records back when they were in the Big 12. And then that was really my big emphasis on wanting to go to Nebraska, is I just wanted to live up to her legacy, especially because me and her, like, we kind of got this thing like, I got to have a better career than she did. And I'm still working on that. So it was really special for me to go to Nebraska. Unfortunately, things didn't work out there, but I think it set me up to be in a good position here.
Yep. What's crazy is when we do our personnel sheets of our players, kind of like a scouting sheet, and you got all the accolades, all the stuff about your family. I mean, we look at all your tape from high school to if you got college tape or whatever. You kind of try to find the historical emphasis of who they are, your alignment in college football or in football in general, knowing that the people that were around you in Nebraska and all those type of things. But then I come to that part where it says 9-time All-American, and I'm trying to figure it all out, but it's like she won so many events. It's like indoor, outdoor, I mean, everything. Yeah. Like, and so one of the questions I asked her when you remember on your visit, I was like, who's faster? and you know, your dad just said, I got to step back out of this conversation. Yeah. But she was awesome. Did you ever see or look up any of those?
What's crazy is my first ever in-home visit with Nebraska track team, it wasn't even about me. It was just like it was like a reunion with my mom. The coach had brought down like her old film, and so we just watched it, and it was like the craziest thing I ever seen. Like, she was really out there just dominating. Yeah,
well, that's awesome, man. And I mean, your mom, man, that's pretty awesome that that she has that. But she also she's a professor at Nebraska now, right?
Yeah, she has her PhD.
Yeah, so, you know, and I told her, I said, well, your baby, you can come watch your baby anytime you want in Stillwater now.
Yeah, she'll always be at it. Every event I've ever done in my whole life, my parents make sure they're there.
Yeah, and your dad has like a track club and things like that, and and really in the community and in Nebraska and in the surrounding states as well too, doing a lot of things. But so back to football and what's going on now for your offense. How has the last couple weeks, you know, with you guys run a team or run a, you know, player-led 7-on-7, all that type of stuff. How's that been with install and getting to be able to start doing some stuff with your team?
Yeah, I think install for me has been going really well. It's a little different from Nebraska. It's not as wordy, which I think is probably better for me because, like, you don't got to do a lot of thinking and not saying that you don't have to think, but like, it's just different. I feel like maybe it's a little easier, maybe not. Maybe we haven't gotten to the full install yet, but I feel like I've been doing a good job so far, and I think the rest of the teammates been doing a good job. One thing I will say is the receivers make sure, like, we make sure that everybody is straight. Like at Nebraska, sometimes I felt like it was like every man for themselves. Yeah. But I feel like here I learned that you can compete and help each other out at the same time.
Right. And so that's one of our things. We want guys that can fit in this program, that can be the most competitive people or players in each individual room, but also they can have chemistry. Right. And in football, if you can do both of those, you'll win a lot of games because Coach Gundy's proven that over the last 20 years. We had one bad year, but moving forward, we want the most competitive room in every room, here, every position group, but we also want the best chemistry. And that's one thing that I feel like as I talk to you guys, like we're getting it. So the football side will come. I mean, all that stuff, it'll come and we'll win games. But the chemistry is what I feel like you players are doing a good job in developing and then staying, being more competitive in that as well. Do you feel that way? Yeah,
I feel like this group, what's different, what's going to set us over the bar is that everyone has the same goal, and that's to win. Even when breaking it down as simple as saying Big 12 champs, like we're trying to manifest, get in there and winning that game because we know bigger things come with winning that game.
And that's huge. And we've been there. I mean, we've been there, but it's a new crop, new group of kids, and I'm excited about it. So tell us this. If there's something about Jaylen Lloyd that we won't read in your bio, is there anything?
Probably that I'm just laid back. I'm really quiet, but
you're not a chef or a sing or.
I don't know if it's in my bio. I'm left-handed. I think.
Oh, you left-handed?
That's probably about the.
You throw the football left-handed? Yeah. Don't tell anybody you can throw the football because you know why? That's a secret weapon. If you can throw the football and they do a double pass or something.
I can shoot a basketball with my left and right hand.
Oh, yeah?
That's a little different.
So that's good. Yeah. So finishing up, you look at Jaylen Lloyd's career at Oklahoma State, transferred in here, Nebraska kid or whatever. How do you want your legacy to be here at Oklahoma State?
Yeah, growing up, I've had this type of conversation with my parents, and I've always felt like I've always been doubted, and I just feel like I want my legacy to be like, man, he really meant what he said he was going to do, and he went out there and did it, and he gave it his all. So that's how I approach everything I do, and I feel like up to this point that it's been happening, and even though some people throughout the way they still don't believe in me, that's what makes me work harder. Like I feel like I need to make sure everybody knows that I put in the work. I try my best with everything I do. Yep, and it's you'll know that here, and I hope you feel that here in our culture is that like every player that is in this building, you're here for a purpose. Right. You know what I mean? And Coach Gundy keeps reminding whether you play 1,000 snaps a year or whether you play 0, your value to this program is the same. Right. You know what I mean? Yes, and it's more about you as a person that's going to operate in this world later on than us winning football games. Right. Even though it's hard to say, but at the end of the day, we're building champions. You know what I mean? Yes, if we build champions, the championships will come. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? And so we want to validate that every day. So you can believe that whenever you leave here, you're going to be a champion, no matter what. Now, obviously, we all want to win the Big 12 champion. I want to win the Big 12 championship too. You know what I'm saying? But man, that's something that I hope that every Cowboy understands that their role here, you're still going to be a champion, no matter what. Yes, sir. All right. Well, man, I'm looking forward to the season, and one of these days I'll get you out on the road. I'll race you in a Tesla or something. Yes, sir. Let's do it. Have a good day, brother. Thank you. Quick to flip a bill, jump out of profit. I'm a real hitter with them wheels spinning, never stopping. I'm a boss.